Number 5, Dr. Insano from the Spoonie Experiment. After movie and game reviewer Noah Antwiller, aka Spoonie, resolved to create a time machine in order to destroy Final Fantasy VIII and all of its predecessors, he was confronted by an elderly mad scientist version of himself. This apparently caused a paradox that resulted in Spoonie and the newly created entity Dr. Insano splitting off into two separate identities which now coexist. Mind you, none of this is strictly canon. Anyway, Insano had a productive career, gaining control of the Neutro robot, successfully becoming president, and making other strides in the field of mad science. Why do I like Insano? Unlike other mad scientists who brood and rage, Insano knows how to keep his sense of humor.
What did he teach me? He taught me that every problem has a solution, and that solution is inevitably science!
Number 4, Kim Ross from Dresden Kodak. This is the only female on the list, I'm afraid. Not sure if there just aren't enough female mad scientists, or if I just don't know enough of them. Anyway, the daughter of a geneticist and a roboticist, Ross tirelessly seeks out scientific and philosophical truths. She'd use any method and make any sacrifice needed to this goal. At one point, she found herself combating time-traveling invaders fleeing a world ravaged by a war with a robotic world intelligence, only to discover that she was, or they, and, Actually, I'm not sure I know just what happened. Go read the comic yourself, maybe you'll figure it out. Long story short, she lost about 35% of her original body mass, but she's still seeking truth wherever it might be hiding. Why do I like her? She's curious, clever, cute, and socially retarded, so I feel a certain empathy towards her.
What did I learn from her? I learned that necessity is the mother of invention, and giant robot attacks the mother of necessity.
Number 3, Dr. Victor Frankenstein from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Adapted, parodied, modernized, and reconceptioned thousands of times, Frankenstein is the original mad scientist. He was obsessed with creating life, and after years of work he succeeded. However, he was overcome with horror at what he'd done and fled. His creation, the unnamed monster, would return later to plague and eventually destroy him. Why do I like him? He's classic! Frankenstein was steampunk a century before it was cool, and mad scientists have been taking inspiration from him for decades.
And what did Dr. Frankenstein teach us? Well, no joke here, he taught us that as mankind's knowledge infringes more and more into areas we previously left to God, we have to take responsibility for our discoveries.
Number 2, Dr. Daisuke Serizawa from the original Gojira/Godzilla. I already talked about him in my Top 5 Heroes video, so I won't go into too much detail. But as a short recap, Serizawa had developed a substance capable of massive amounts of destruction. This could be used to destroy the rampaging monster Godzilla, but could then also be used against other human beings. Serizawa was convinced to use it anyway, but to prevent the secret of making the substance from getting out, he took himself out alongside Godzilla. Why do I like him? Because although he was a mad scientist, as a person, he was a prime example of the triumph of reason.
What did I learn from him? Every problem has a solution, just not always a pretty one.
And number 1, the mad scientist every other is measured by. The one they all aspire to be. The one, the only, Dr. Kurt Leopold, aka Dr. Z, from the Bloodwaters of Dr. Z, aka Zat. This guy is gone. Listen to this.
Sargassum fish, mighty hunter of the deep. Wretched humans, they're afraid of you. I admire you. Soon I'll swim with you. I love you. They think I'm insane. They're the ones who are insane.
Wow.
His life's work led him to turning himself into a catfish man. But unlike Dr. Frankenstein, who instantly regretted what he'd done, or Dr. Cockroach, whose transformation was an accident, this is exactly what Dr. Z was going for. Not only that, but he has a 7-foot-tall revenge wheel to help him sort out his grudges. Well, in the end, he goes the way of many mad scientists, destroyed by fools who could never understand his vision. However, his work lives on. Why do I like him?
He has a 7-foot-tall revenge wheel. What did I learn from him? The restraint has no place in science.
In the name of God, now I know what it feels like to be God.
Well, those are my top 10 mad scientists. These hardy pioneers inspire and terrify us. They go places that mankind was never meant to go, with nothing but a belly laugh and a overdeveloped sense of self-worth. I know there were a lot of great mads that didn't end up making my list. I know Bill Nye would have been on my list if you were just a little bit madder. But I do encourage you to, on the comments below, place some of your ideas for the best mad scientists. Anyway, have a good day. This has been Victor with the Junkyard.
This is an old idea, but a good one. Watermelon.